extent of watering the plant. That's what it's given in that. So that is the extent, the feeling internally. Next is the Raktim Raga. There are two again, Kusumba Raga and Manjishta Raga. Manjishta Raga exists only in Radharani and Satyabhama. In some, these are because Satyabhama is also expansion of Radharani. And it is a self-manifest, not depend on any other thing. And it's never been destroyed. It is a steadfast. And so this, as mentioned, is the Radharani or Satyabhama. This there. Another part, little softer version is infused. Is a Kusuma Raga infused at once within the heart, and that manifests its own beauty according to the necessity. Yeah, Prabhu, you will go to the next one. Yeah. Now, I think it brings us to final conclusion. Primarily, there are 3 points here. Ragas. One is Grat Sneha, which is like a ghee, which needs some additional help like a sweetening and all that. So again, those are seen in Chandravali and expressed as Udit Sneha, Maitra, Sumatra, and Nilama are found in Chandravali, or twins of Dwarika, as a Rukmini. The second one, which is primarily found in Radharani or Satyabhama or sometime Lakshmana, are superior bhavas. It includes basically Madhu Sneha, again higher level of that, Lalita, Sakhya, Susakhya, and Rakte. That brings to the third, which is a mix of, it's a beyond those such Ashtasakis. That's the third point. It's seen in the Vrija Gopis. And the Prabhuji gave that example of there are different groups, Swakya and Parkya, but these bhavas are shown into that. And last fourth again is basically, since it is a summarization, talks about that the Sthai Bhava plus the 33 Sanchari Bhavas and 7 Gunas. Those are secondary bhavas, secondary characteristics, beginning with Hashya. Prabhuji will go to the next. Yeah, this is a very nice slide here again. Since it's after Raga, which is attachment, it comes Anuraga. Basically, again, expression, outward expression, how the feelings are coming out here. Anuraga is there. So the glorious wonder that Anuraga manifests. These are external symptoms because needs to come out between two lovers. Something is internal, something is external. So this is the external symptoms. Anuraga brings the lover and beloved under each other. Because by this time there is a pranaya, other things are past. There is a really good attachment between lover and him. There is a faith and trust. All those components are there. That brings out here in Anuraga. Under it's both brings. So Krishna controls Radharani, Radharani controls Krishna. So the control aspect is here. Again, there's a going further in terms of gopis. Gopi wants to be in the backyard of Krishna as a shrub or herbs or something. That is the level of trust, and that's the level of sacrifice one wants to do. Prabhuji gave a good example. Due to short of time, we will not go. Prabhuji will go to the next slide. Yes. So this is again, there are some questions, basically Vijay Kumar and Gopal Guru, Guru Goswami. This again, this recap of basically what was discussed previously. And now come to the theme 9, which is a Mahabhava, and different types of Mahabhavas are given here. Prabhuji has given nice left-hand side what means Mahabhava, and then some examples, and 2 types are given there. So Radha is the Ashraya, and Krishna is the Vishaya, because this is the divine couple. This stage is this is the highest stage one can see in a love, which the Anuraga reaches the highest, most glorious stage. reside among the queens of, okay. So this Mahabhava cannot be, it can be only in a Braj Gopis, or it can be Radharani and Krishna, or Sakif. It cannot be in the Dwarka queens, because the next it talks about is the Dwarka queens, they are not in a Parkiya Rasa. Parkiya Rasa is a mandatory for a, it's a kind of mandatory for, going to the Mahabhavas. Here, there are two types. One is Rudra Mahabhava. When Rudra Mahabhava matures, it becomes Adiruddha Bhava. So these are the two. Two are there. So Prabhu is sharing the first one. So let's understand Rudra Mahabhavas. This is the Anubhavas, inability to tolerate, like example is given, the gopis were not, blinking in the eyes, they could not tolerate, because that is the level attachment to the Lord, and those nearby thinking. This is the example given when in Kurukshetra, after the war took place and Krishna was away from gopis, Radharani for more than 100 years to Dwarka, and he returns. I think these are description as Prabhuji mentioned in that time. Inability to, and that is what gopis blame Lord Brahma also, giving them eyelids. So they, for a moment, they could not see that, and for a moment, it looks like away from Krishna, or Viplamba is like yugas, Then there's all sattvic bhavas manifest in the udipta condition. Second one is again, which is higher level. This is the, So this is the Aniruddha. So when it matures, the Rudbhava, it comes to the next level, as Prabhuji has given previous slide. There are two parts, and both are very important. One is a Modana, another is a Madana. So Modana does not occur anywhere else other than Radha's group or Radharani. Modana is of Ladini Shakti. Her own potency, she is a personified of Ladini Shakti. When both Radha and Krishna manifest all the sattvic bhavas with the most brilliant glory, Modana becomes Mohana Bhava. And there are some examples we'll see on that. Then there's a Madana Bhava. Envy is so prominent. Envy comes to give a pleasure to others. This is not a material envy. I think we'll see somewhere. Start blaming others. Paraphernalia of Lord Krishna, like in this case, the flute. So flute is getting prominent. So Radharani and gopis feel that how fortunate is the flute. That is the transcendental jealousy or envy. That is how it is there. Prabhuji will go to the next. So we'll go to the next. Yes. So, So this is what some of the Anubhavas and Rud Mahabhavas are like. So quickly I'll go through. There are 6 stages. So one stage at that bhava, the level is the Mahabhava's level. The lovers are unable to tolerate the eye blinking. Again, Brahma's example I just mentioned into that. So they don't want to see a separation between them, whether it's a Sambhoga or Viplamba. And example, in a Sambhoga, when they are together also, but by some symptoms, they feel they are away and they go to ecstasy. Another is agitation, the hearts of those nearby. When they saw Gopi's ecstatic love, again, example is the Kurukshetra, when everybody is assembled and the Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj, others could see, the Gopi's love or Radharani's love could not be hidden. So that's again Mahabhava's level, agitating the hearts of those nearby. Third, thinking the kalpa to be as long as a moment. Prabhuji gave an example, when there is a happy moment, nobody wants it to lose. It is just over in a moment. When there's a distress, even small moment looks like a yuga, or Brahma's one night, which is the equivalent of 4.3 billion years. Fourth point, worrying that Krishna may be suffering. This is the feeling of the other side, or gopis. So even though Krishna was not there in a rasa dance when they were separated, but this is the feeling of the gopis, they don't want to miss Krishna, and they feel so compassion. They think their heart or the breast, which is softest part of the gopis, but they feel that's too hard for Krishna. That's the feeling shows into that. So they are, although they are not bewildered moha, but for again rasa, that shows Krishna is always present, spurti before them. They are not bewildered, but they pretend to be he's away. And there are some examples. The sixth one, thinking the moment to be as long as kalpa. Again, we discuss. Prabhuji will go to the next one. Yeah. Okay. So this is separation from Krishna. Modana becomes Mohan Bhava. So very nice examples are Krishna faints while being embraced by another lover. Again, that shows Anubhava in Mohan Bhava. Second is Divya Unmada, divine madness. The one is a unique, indescribable mode of behavior. Another is a divya, has a second part is a divya unmada, has features such as Uddgurna or Chitra Jalpa. We'll be talking about little more. That's why I just mentioned this. Uddgurna, this is the Radha experience this state when Krishna departed to Madhura. And yes, so Prabhuji brings here 10. These are not prajalpa, kind of what we talk, these are transcendental. Again, this is a part of the Mahabhavas, as Prabhuji explained. Prajalpa, that's part one, revealing the tactness of one's love using various, mannerism, giving different malays or something to give a pleasure to Krishna. Next is Parijalpa, showing one's expertise through different expressions just to tease the other side. So you are cruel or treachery. Vijalpa refers to speech each one outwardly makes malicious, basically love inside, but externally showing that. Pujalpa shows Krishna's treachery, blaming Krishna for being late or kind of thing. Wants to be together, wants to be, Sambhoga or Viplamba, always. That is the mood here. Chanjalpa, establishing Krishna's unforgettable harshness, even though he was not, but that is the gopis' perception they feel. Then Avajalpa, expressing one involuntary or helpless attachment to Krishna with a fear filled with a jealousy while feeling with a false, finding a lover's fault. Next is Abhijalpa, lamenting with the indirect expression, distress even to his birds, like Krishna. That's what the gopis feel. But in fact, everybody was enjoying, including bird trees. Ajalpa exposed his duplicity. Again, which is not true, but this is what gopi shows indifference to the. And last is Pratijalpa, showing respect toward messenger sent by Krishna, saying that he is a disciple. So these are different ways, because this is again Mahabhava's example project. I think there's one more. Yeah, so I'll go through quickly here. This is a Madan Aniruddha Bhava, which is highest. And the conclusion summary of the Madhu Rasa. This is the highest one expects from Mahabhavas. Madan Aniruddha Bhava. It is so unlimited that even Krishna himself could not understand the entirety. And then Prabhuji gave example on that, how the how the nectar of devotion was developed. We're not going there, but again giving the how the Mahabhavas are there. Why not Krishna, despite his Akhil Rasa, and why he doesn't understand? This is again Achinta Veda Ved. Krishna understands everything. He wants to come out or bring up. The next part is conclusive summary of Madhur Rasa. This is very nice. The various bhavas manifested by the gopis are all spiritual and beyond comprehension by material logic and human intelligence. See, Radharani, who is a Mahabhava Swarupa herself, had Raga, Anuraga, Sneha, and Mana, Pranaya, even in Purva Raga. So the stage of Madhu Mahita is the last limit of Sadharani Rati. Sambandacha Rati developed in so far, Sneha Mana. So I think that is there, and now Prabhuji is giving us all a brief how things different forms are developing. I think it will come into the next slide, Prabhuji, everything in one place. Only here, yeah, it would come. Prabhuji is bringing us. Prabhuji, I think you are going to still develop this one, right? We'll discuss.
I think this is enough. I think
Yeah.
this I'm going to show it in the when we review the whole course. Course.
Okay, Prabhuji, do we do now or we'll do at the end because we are really spend time.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All great Srila Prabhupada. So now we move on to lesson 46. Let me share that screen with you. I'm sorry, I removed it just a minute. Okay. So this is the sort of course schedule, and they this particular new last section we are starting now. Remember, this is the fourth part and the third subsection of that. And so there are 4 chapters are there, 37, 38, 39, and 40, the final chapters of Sri Jaiva Dharma. And we will do also in 4 lessons, 45, 46, 47, 48, 45, we have already done that. So today is lesson 46, shown in this black box. And that is about the Sambhoga and Ashtakaliya Leela. Am I correct? Yeah. And I was working on that and not yet completed. So we'll do whatever we can, okay? And then in anyway, the time is also very short today. So we'll do whatever I can, okay? So there are 4 themes in lesson 46. I think we should be doing lesson 45, isn't it? Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji, 45.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's why I was working on lesson 46. Sorry about that. Today I'm really kind of disorganized. Haribol. I'm sharing lesson 45. Let's take this away. Lesson 45, correct. So here it is. This slide I just showed you, we'll be doing lesson 45. Okay. So lesson 45, which is Vipralamba. And so we are studying, like I said, a new subsection, the last part of that. The third is that there are 4 subsections are there, and we'll do in four lessons, 45, 46, 47, and 48. 45, which is about Vipralamba, which is the separation in the Vipralamba rasa. So there are 4 themes. The first theme is to important understanding of the intrinsic nature, Swarupa, of the Shringara Rasa. In fact, Vijay Kumara is asking the question that you explained Sthai Bhava and how the Sthai Bhava, when mixed with the different ingredient bhavas, like the Vibhava, which are of two kinds, Alambana Vibhava and then Udipana Vibhava, that first interact with the Sthai Bhava, and then the resultant Anubhavas are there, and followed by the Sattvic Bhavas, and finally the Sanchari Bhavas. So that's how the Sthai Bhava is converted into those rasas, the 5 primary rasas and the 7 secondary rasas. But now we have been talking about the Madhura Rasa. So Madhura Rasa, the Sthai Bhava itself in Madhura Rati. Okay? And so Vijay Kumar's question was that I have understood all this thing and still I'm not getting the feeling of that Madhura Rati. Why is this so? So his Shiksha Guru, Gopal Guru Goswami, is explaining that unless and until you understand the supremacy of the Madhura Rasa, which is Shringara Rasa, unless you understand Shringara Rasa, you are not going to be able to realize the full impact of Madhura Rati. Okay? So that's the first part of this theme, first theme. That's important to understand the intrinsic nature, Swarupa Lakshana, of the Shringara Rasa. And then that Shringara Rasa has 2 subparts. One is the 2 components. One is the Vipralamba, the other is the Sambhoga. Vipralamba is the separation, and Sambhoga is the union. But the union, the full realization of the union does not take place unless one goes through the stages of separation. Then only you understand that. So Vipralamba is the separation, is the one which nourishes the Sambhoga. So it's very, very important to keep in mind. So we have to really follow this description, understanding of Vipralamba very clearly. So the theme 2, so there are Vipralamba, there are 4 types, okay? And the first of the 4 types is Purva Raga. So the Raga develops even before the couple actually physically meet together. And how does that happen? Because they hear, the heroine hears about the hero from different sources, from Sakhis and so on like that. We'll go through that, the Purva Raga. That means the attachment before physically being able to meet, all right? And that will be question 511 through 539. And the second part is the Mana. The Mana is the second type, and we will go through that, the segments of that. And the 4th theme is this Prema Vichitya, or the imagined, perceived separation. Not really separation, but the perceived separation. So that is what we'll go through that. And then, of course, the final 4th part of Vipralamba is this Pravasa. The hero is going in a travel elsewhere, sometimes a short distance, or sometimes the faraway distance for much longer duration, like Krishna going to Mathura, and how the couple became separated and go through the perils of that, that we will see. So here, this is a composite slide. A lot of information is here now. Okay. So the question here is, why do we need to understand this Swarupa Lakshana of Shringara Rasa? Because he was told the reason he could not internalize that Sthai Bhava in Madhura Rati, because he has to understand this Vipralamba, very clearly. So now he's asking, why is it that important? So that is the answer is given here. Unless and until one is proficient, what is proficient? Clear understanding in his. So he's been able to conversant. He's able to not only understand himself, but being able to explain to others. See, that is what the teaching comes. Teaching is the best tool in learning any subject, because you really need to study thoroughly well in order to explain without any kind of hesitation, in the clearest possible terms, without any kind of confusion. Because the speaker himself, if becomes confused, then his students will not follow. So he must be very clear in his understanding. So unless and until this proficiency of his understanding of the intrinsic nature, Swarupa Lakshana of Shringar Rasa, it is not possible to awaken that rasa in Sthai Bhava, Madhura Rasa. So that is the reason that is given here, okay? And despite mixing with it 4 ingredient bhavas, that you understood all that, okay? The Alambana Vibhava, Uddipana Vibhava, Anubhava, Satvik Bhava, Sanchari Bhavas, that you understand, but you could not integrate all this thing together. And that's what I'm telling all of you also. In that last slide I was preparing is to help you integrate all this information that we gathered over several weekends, right? Several lessons. So that is what I'm going to do, and that's what very imperative that we review the entire course. Because this Jaiva Dharma course is extremely important. It touches many different facets, So that is what I'm going to do. And fortunately, Sharat Prabhuji gave me some extra week or so, So we will do in 3 parts, the reviewing the entire course. So next weekend, we will complete this Jaiva Dharma lesson 46, 47, and 48. Today we are doing 45. Okay. So that is the reason given to him. So what is this Shringar Rasa Swarup Lakshana? It is a super excellent. So when you say excellent, and when you add it super, when you say excellent, it is excellent, right? You don't need to have another adjective to it, but to make it emphasize, it, it's super importance. Remember in English, American English particularly, there's my very best wishes to you. Best wishes should be enough. But when you say very best, you're emphasizing what really means by best. So excellent means super excellent. And profuse, transcendental element of Madhura Rasa. So that is what we are going to learn in this section. So there are 2 kinds. One is Vipralamba, that is we are going to do today. And the next week we'll do Sambhoga. Okay. So Vipralamba, there are 4 types, as I showed you in the previous slide. Purvaraga, Mana, Prema, Vaichitya, and Pravasa. All this thing leads to the separation. And here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are important elements of the proficient understanding of what is Vipralamba. It is really the love in separation. Now, that is, most of you find it kind of difficult to understand. How can you find love when you are separated from your lover? Okay. But that is the ultimate test of how strong your love is all about. When you are separated from your beloved, and that love still persists, so that is the transcendental quality of this spiritual love. They never die. Even there are reasons to break. Despite that, Krishna gives so many difficulties to Radharani to taste her love, and she withstood. She passed with flying colors. She never gave up on Krishna. So that is what the love, even in separation, the real test of the transcendental love. Second point, the delightful emotion that manifests when the couple cannot fulfill the longing for pastime. And that is really amazing. When you want something very badly and you don't get it, what happens? You keep trying all the time. You don't give up, you know. So that is what the juice for going, the delight comes into play right there. Constant try, despite so many setbacks, you know. We have had so many setbacks, right? Look at in my pursuit, so many setbacks I've had. By mercy of a Guru Parampara, I kept on going, you know. And then you realize, and when you realize the result of it, then you really feel double the enjoyment, pleasure, after great labor. And then you realize the value of what you attend, you know. So that is what the separation is that important, to realize the value of the eventual union. So couple cannot fulfill the longing for pastimes such as embracing, kissing each other. All these things is not possible when you physically, your lover is far away or gone for some whatever reasons. And the 4 reasons that we'll go through that. So it can occur in any state, either in union or separation. And that is what kind of, again, difficult to understand. How could be separation even when your beloved is right in front of you? In separation, I can understand. We can all understand, right? But even your lover is right in front of you and you feel separation, because there's a constant fear. Radharani fears Krishna can disappear any moment, so that the precious moment she's with him, she cannot enjoy that. This constant fear is that he's going to go away, you know. So that is what the pain in separation. And it nourishes the mood of sambhoga. So eventually when we meet, and that's what we'll see, the 4 kinds of sambhoga, when they meet, this thing will come again. We will revisit that issue, you know. So sambhoga cannot develop fully without vipralamba. You do not realize the value of meeting. You cannot realize the full enjoyment of sambhoga unless and until you went through the pain of separation. How hard was it? So finally, when you meet, you really value it so much. So that is why this slide is critically important for you to understand that. So now we'll go through these 4 types of this separation. Okay. So here in this slide, the first kind is this purvaraga. Again, the understanding of purvaraga means the couple have not met physically yet. They just heard from someone else the glories of their beloved. Okay. So the first point here in the upper right corner, it is the formation and enchantment that arises when the couples see and hear about each other before. That's why I put it in capital letters, you know, before they actually meet. And how that happens. The heroine may see Krishna in person, his form of picture, or in dreams. One may hear someone glorifying him from her sakhis and dutis, the messengers, and also listen to the songs praising him. So all these things happen in the background before physically being able to meet the beloved. Okay. She may have seen Krishna. Okay. Of course, we know when we went to the Radha Tattva course, right when Radharani was just baby, Krishna came to see, right? We know that, right? But that was childhood. Childhood meeting does not count when you're talking Madhura Rasa, conjugal rasa. Children cannot understand, right? So we are talking about the Madhura Rasa realization. That meeting, that kind of meeting has not taken place yet. Okay? So that is what called Purva Raga. Purva means pre-existing attachment before physically meeting together. Okay, then the 2 points here. The same 7 causes that we went through there, remember? Abhiyoga and all that 7 stories. Those are the causes of Madhur Rati. Here the same causes are there, begin with Abhiyoga, are also the causes of this Madhura Rati in Purvaraga, which first manifest in the gopis, and then, so normally what happens, actually the men, right, generally on the material platform, but on a spiritual platform, because women are being very shy, right? But men should also know women tend to love much more deeply than men, you know. Men are like bumblebees, sucking the honey from one flower, going to another flower. But the women who love, they really love so deeply and so purely they love, you know. So here the gopis make the initiation here, and then Krishna reciprocates. Okay, here there are 3 types of this Purvaraga. There is a Prouಢa, fully manifest in a Samartharati. Then there's Samanjasa. These terms now should be very familiar to you. We discussed earlier in terms of the prema, right? So Prouಢa means a mature, and that's usually tend to be in a Samartharati. Whereas the Samanjasarati, that's an intermediate. And this Samartharati, there are 10 states or dashas that we'll see in a moment. Whereas in Sadharana, which is not ordinary, there's another kind. So these are the 10 dashas or states of this Prouಢa Purvaraga, mature. One is there is a longing, lalasa, because you heard so much about someone. And then when you meet, you become enchanted by that, right? So much heard the glorification of the one and which you fell in love with that person now, you know. So there's a lalasa, that's a Sanskrit term. Intense longing to attain one's heartfelt desire, and its symptoms are eagerness. What are its symptoms? Eagerly looking forward. Any little opportunity you get, you want to grab it, you know. You heard so much about that. So Radharani had heard so much about Krishna. Even though in a childhood they played together, okay? But now we are talking about the conjugal rasa. There's a different kind of feelings. Then there is, of course, there's an anxiety, udvega, perturbation of the mind. In great anxiety, the mind is troubled also, you know, and manifests through these different kinds of symptoms, such as deep, heavy breathing. When the lover comes in front of you, the women, shyness, actually the men also goes through that, you know, but the women particularly feel that. Fickleness, motionless, thoughtfulness, tears rolling, and so on like that. And of course, before you meet, you spend many, many nights, sleepless nights, you know, gives rise to motionless and dryness of the senses and so on like that. Emaciation, and of course, you don't eat well, don't sleep well, you lose weight, you become thin and so on like that. Then there is the inertia, jadata, because of all that, the absence of discrimination, by not responding even when asked something, because your mind is on your beloved. When you're talking to someone and you're not listening what someone is telling you, you know. So that someone tells you, where are you, Radha? Where are you? What are you thinking about? Who are you thinking about? Like that, you know. Impatience, hardly can wait to meet your beloved. The condition of gravity, in which the transformation resulting from bhava do not manifest externally. Impatience is the state in which this gravity is agitated and become intolerable. The symptoms are discrimination despondency, regret, jealousy, and so on like that. And then, of course, illness is there too also, you because of this anxiety, not eating properly, not sleeping well, and so on like that. Then this called divine madness. We saw that yesterday's class, right? The Unmada, Divyan Unmada, very strange kind of behavior to the onlookers. Not you're troubling between reality and the some illusory thing. Radharani, when the bumblebee came, she went through all these kind of feelings. Then delusion, moha, becoming unconscious, and its anubhavas include motionless and so on like that. And finally, longing for death. If the lover cannot meet you for whatever reasons, you wish you don't want to live anymore. That feeling is there. When the heroine is unable to meet her beloved, despite her so many attempts, she gives away a cherished possession. She thinks, I'm not going to live anymore. So all the possessions she had collected over many years, she cherished so much. She tells all her Sakhis, please take all this thing, I don't need anymore because I'm not going to live anymore, like that. So much desperation takes place. Okay, then the 4 of the 10 states of Samanjasa Purvaraga, the one we just discussed, were the highest kind. Okay, this is of the intermediate kind, Samanjasa. Longing, Abhilasha is there. It's basically same kind. Chinta, remembrance, Shruti, glorifying the qualities of the lover, all these things. What are the qualities that you heard? You keep repeating that to others. All this happens. And I won't go into details about that. Then the Sadharana Purvaraga, ordinary people like you and me, ordinary people. We also go through that, but not to the extent that these gopis go through that in the prouder, mature stage, Exactly like Sadharana Rati, this is exactly what we went through. Sadharana Rati. Here we cover Sadharana Purvaraga, very similar. What they do actually, they exchange letters before they meet. Kama Lekha Patra, sometimes with Sha Akshara, actual words written on that, or sometimes symbolic, not words actually. So that's what is explained here. They are expression of mutual loving sentiments in writing. 2 kinds, those written with letters, Sa Akshara, with the alphabets, or inscriptions of the alphabets, and those written without using letters. You draw a picture of a heart like that, and the arrow going through that, look how much my heart is pierced by my love for you, and so on like that. So Nirakshara Kamaleka, an example is symbolic love letter, is half moon shaped impression made with a nail on a real leaf. With a nail, she draws these symbols without any other mark or letter on it. Then Sa-akshara, what is a Sa-akshara? It's in their own handwritings, expressing their heartfelt emotional state in natural language. These are written with colored inks, which are obtained either with minerals, what are available in this Vrindavan of the hills, Govardhan Hill, the squeezing red flowers, the flower petals on that also they write. Sometimes with kumkuma powder, large flower petals are used as paper, and the latter are tied with fibers from the stalks of lotuses. So they write pen, this is like the stems of the lotuses. So actually, your lover appreciate more than that when you do like this thing. Exactly. So instead of sending lovers with a typewritten messages, if you write your own handwriting, it's much more touching to your prospective lover. That you took great pain. I hate sometimes when the people reply to me with this just symbols, like saying namaskar like that. I wish you write that namaskar right. When you write the symbol, it's a typical just you copy paste. There's no personal feeling is there. Okay, let's take a break. 5 minutes break. Haribol. Okay, get ready, please. All right. So now we discuss the second aspect of this Vipralamba. First, we discussed so far is the Purva Raga. Now we talk about the Mana. Of course, we know what is Mana, different kinds of Mana, and all this thing we discussed. But now we are talking about the separation in Mana. Mana means the heroine is in the Mana, Radharani is in Mana. So there's a temporary separation is there, right? So that is what we are talking about, okay? So what is Mana in its underlying principle? It is the bhava, emotion, that prevents the couple from engaging in their cherished activities of embracing, looking at each other, kissing, talking in a pleasing way, and so on. Because the lover is turned off, because the beloved must have done something, like showing late or still showing the telltale signs that he had been with her rival and so on, like that. So she's in that kind of anger is there. So that is separation, and so on. Even though they are both in the same place and they are together, but they are not together connected with the heart. Heart means feeling is there, but that anger is also there in the heroine's mind, So they share a deep attachment for each other, and yet they feel a distance between the two. Okay. So the Sanchari bhavas include despondency, doubt, anger, restlessness, pride. Pride plays a very important role. Who is going to make the first try, to speaking? Usually it's the man takes a stand again. He will try to pacify the heroine. Krishna does many times like that, and the heroine is still has a pride. She's not going to come up and agree with him right away, like that. So that separation is still there. Even the physically, the proximity is there, but the heart is not there together, inside the feeling is there, of course, let's get together again. But the pride is stopping there, concealing the sentiments, and there's a guilt feeling is there, and serious thoughtfulness. And of course, sometimes Sakis help. These Sakis who has some feelings for Krishna also, she'll tell Radharani, Radha, see, he's begging you, please have a heart, please forgive him, so on like that. Inside, she wants to forgive him. And only when somebody says that, then she swallows her pride and then she becomes pacified, So the basis of Mana is the pranaya. Very important point here. Unless there's a deep love, and we went through that, what is pranaya? Sneha and pranaya, sneha is a prema who's there. Pranaya, there's a vishramba is there. Vishramba means the great trust is that my lover will not give me up so easily, and he will remain in my control, and he still will love me, that the trust is there. So when the trust is there and the trust is broken, that's where this real mana comes into that. So when we went through that, sometimes sneha follows mana and then pranaya, but the real, most of the time, it is actually the pranaya comes first and then mana, because mana depends on that intense trust in our beloved, and that is the mostly it is there. Sometimes it happens before pranaya, but that is not a fully blossomed state, unripened stage, because pranaya is the lifeline of that mana, like sneha cannot occur without the fear. So mana cannot occur without pranaya. So it usually does not follow before pranaya. And even if it does, it's only an unripened stage, unblossomed stage. So that's a very important element to understand. mana with, so somebody is showing that even the possessiveness also comes with that. When the lover loves so intensely, she feels that possessiveness. That there are two kinds of possessiveness we see about yesterday, right? Madiyatva and mamatva. Mamatva is the lower strand. This feeling of respect is there, Chandravali, that I belong to him. I am his property. But this Madiyatva, which is much more aggressive, intense type of possessiveness is there, that Krishna is all mine. He is my property. That comes with that kind of pranaya, with deep love, So mana with a cause. So there are two kinds of such mana. If there's a cause that she went to that kind of mana, and sometimes there is no cause. So that we will go through that. So there's now mana with the cause. Some hetu is there, okay? So jealousy, Isha, is the main cause. And Krishna uses that weapon all the time, Overwhelmed by pranaya, rise in the heart of the Naika. The jealousy comes only when the lover loves so intensely. That's what men should understand that, and she sees or hears her hero is sporting with her rival. Either she sees directly or hears from her sakhis, and there are many examples are there, Chidravali and her Sakhi Padma used to tell her many times Krishna is with Radharani and so on like that, so either the rival she learns from that, or Vipaksha, or marginally from the Tatastha group, that the Krishna is sporting with the gopis either in a rival group or in a neutral group. And there are three ways of discovering the position of the rivals, Vipaksha, Vishishate. Seeing directly, Drashta, her beloved, engaged in pastimes with the rival. She sees herself, sometimes she makes a deduction. There's a telltale signs when he returns. His Vajanti Mala is a little bit kind of crumpled because of tight embracing, or the rival's earrings got stuck in his dress and so on like that, So from that, she deduces that he must have seen my rival, and then sometimes inadvertently the lover will say while he's sleeping or in dream, like happens when he was resting in the lap of Chidravali, and he utters in his dream, "Oh Radha, you are the only one I love you." But Chandravali he's sleeping, he's lying down in the lap of Chandravali. So you can imagine what is the pain Chandravali would feel that, Same thing like that. Sometimes he meets Chandravali. He says, "Hi Radha, where have you been? I haven't seen you for a long time." So and Chandravali being in a soft mood always, So she will say in a vyanga, in a sarcastic way, "Really?" Then she will say that, "Oh, if I'm Radha," so she will make a joke about that, Jokingly, she will express that what you are saying, and she makes him realize, and it makes him feel embarrassment, Gotra Skalana, that's called. She's the rival in her dream. Sometimes she's the rival in the dream. And sometimes she hears from a Sakhi or even a parrot. Both Radharani and Krishna have a pair, a male parrot and a female parrot. We will go through that lesson 46 on that. So there's another example. Once in Dwarka, Krishna presented Parijat. You know the well-known story about this thing. Krishna fought with Indra and brought a Parijata plant and gave it to Rukmini. Now, Satyabhama is the only queen who felt so jealous. She went to the Mana Why? Because I am the most beautiful, I am the youngest one, and Krishna loves me most. Why did he bother to give Rukmini and not to me directly, like that, So Satyabhama is like very much, she's an expansion of Radharani, The Rukmini is an expansion of Chandravali, very soft type, mridu type. And now, so those are what that with some cause is there. But now there is a sometimes causeless, there's no apparent reason, and still the heroine will go into the mana. That develops when pranaya is enhanced by an apparent cause of for mana, but not in reality. The reason does not exist actually. And Panditas, scholarly people, they say an extension of pranaya arising from its vilasa, joyful pastimes. The movements and dealings of prema are crooked. You cannot understand. You cannot really make out, Love sometimes makes people sometimes behave very strangely. It's the movement of like a snake, movement of a snake. So Vibhichari Bhavas in this rasa is concealing one's emotions and feelings, avahita. So Radharani isn't mad, but she will not tell him, Krishna, why she's bad. And Krishna is wondering, come on, tell me, what did I do? Like that. So how is mana either with cause or causeless could be specified. How Krishna pacifies Radharani. So sometimes there's a causeless mana. It's usually pacified by itself. There's no reason for that. Without any particular need, some remedial measures, it doesn't. But then let's say when there's a cause, okay, that he did something to hurt her. He went to see a rival, but now he's coming back and tries to tell her, I'm very, very sorry. It will not happen again. And it's going to happen again and again all the time anyway. So here, Sama, consoling words he will use, very sweet words, pleasing words, and makes promises that I will not do again, And so Sama Bheda like that, Bheda means diplomatic remarks, expressing one's greatness by various gestures and insinuation, rebuking the heroine indirectly through Sakhis. So sometimes Krishna takes help from the Sakhis, Radharani's Sakhis actually, those who are favorable to Krishna. And through Sakhis, like I told you, Tunga Vidya is one of that Sakhi, tells Radharani, please Radha, please forgive him. He is very, very repentant. He feels so sorry about him. And see, he's begging, he's touching your lotus feet, like that. And sometimes taking your oath. Oh, I swear, Radha, this will not happen again. Please forgive me. Dana, bring some gift, flower, sweets, candy, like that. Men usually do that, and heroine really melts. The lover melts. So deceitful presentation, not really. Presentation bring, but not real cause. Is just excuse, And nati means humble submission, bowing down. So Radha, Krishna actually bowing down, touching her lotus feet. Happens so all the time. Upeksha, sometimes neglect, indifference, the mood of abandoning her when all attempts fail, gives up, or referring to remarks with double meaning to please her. And of course, Radha eventually comes around, Then there's a change of mood or thoughts. Sometimes you'll change the mood, Sudden creation of fear in our mind by words or some natural occurrence. Like, Chandravali was there, and suddenly there's a thunderstorm, lightning, and Chandravali becomes really greatly fearful and immediately embraces Krishna, So that kind of situation can happen, fortunately. And sometimes by his intelligence, he creates some kind of distractions. And then last reason, alternate means, special times and places. Sometimes if plays flute, and flute is the most effective. Krishna has the weapon, to pacify the gopis. They cannot resist. Now we talk about Prema Vaichitya. Now here it is discussed in a very, very briefly actually. In Ujjwal Nilabani we went with much greater detail. Prema, so I'm just exactly reproducing what is given by the Siksha Guru, okay? Prema Vaichitya refers to the heartfelt pangs of separation. Remember this, Prema Vaichitya is the imagined separation, not real separation. Hero is right in front of her, but she perceives separation, that he might disappear any moment like that, refers to heartfelt pangs of separation that the Nayika feels even when she is very close to the Nayaka. And it is this the intrinsic nature of prema in its highest state. This super excellent feature results in a type of helplessness or agitation of mind that creates an illusion of being separate from Krishna. See, this is the imagine, perceived separation. And this is a natural state, is called Vaichitya. So now Pravasa, Krishna is going to have to go somewhere else, okay? And so there are two kinds. One is very nearby or far away, okay? So here that's what we discuss. So Pravasa, the segment written above here. Pravasa is the obstruction between the couple when they have been together and are now separated because the hero has to travel short or long distance, short duration or long duration. In Pravasa, the literary meaning of Pravasa means traveling. So one experiences all the Vyabhichari bhavas of Shringar Rasa except jubilation, and obviously that very natural, right? When you're awake, how can it be jubilant, like that, shyness and so on like that. So there are two kinds of such pravasa. One, there's an intentional pravasa. One, there's an unintentional pravasa. Intentional means there's a reason, like going to distant place, sudura pravasa, and that could be past, present, and future, or because of some obligation, like Krishna had to go to Mathura to kill Kamsa, right? So he had a responsibility, so those kind of reasons that he had to really go there, So just going out of sight, the short duration. And then there's an unintentional pravasa. How is that? Sudara pravasa, distant travel, caused by subordination to others or by circumstances that are beyond control, and that could be divine reason for that. Krishna had promised all the demigods, right, that he is going to remove all this burden on the Mother Earth because there's this, sinful people, the demoniac people, and so on like that. So there's a divine reason for that, and then there is a not necessarily divine reason, and sometimes in between. So there are 10 states that manifest this pravasa, even for Krishna also. Thoughtfulness, sleeplessness, anxiety, so becoming thinner, and so like all these things, right? Incoherent talk, illness, madness, bewilderment, and longing for death when things don't work out the way you expect to be, So these are all the fourth reason, pravasa, short or the long-term duration. So in lesson 46, we'll talk about after when they meet, how that happens, So sambhogas also, there are 4 kinds. Okay, Haribol. Okay, open for discussion.
Hare Krishna. Excuse me. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for, as usual, every slide, everything is, you made it so simple for us to understand. Still, my brain at least, and doesn't take so much information. So,
I try.
yeah. So, Prabhuji, can you please elaborate on pranaya and mana if you don't mind? I know this has come time and again in different lessons. Sometimes,
I explain you. Pranaya develops from sneha. Sneha means there is fear is there, that sneha comes. Pranaya comes only when the trust, the Sanskrit word for trust, vishramba. So the heroine, the same works for the hero also, but here mostly heroine, because hero is Krishna. So she developed the trust, Radharani, Chandravani, whatever, and that my hero, my beloved, is fully under my control. She trusts him so much, full trust. And now, when he breaks the trust, then that mana comes into play clearly, right? Because he has broken that trust. That I never thought, I never imagined that you would go and see my rival, like that. So you can see, so when there is a pranaya, deep trust, and that trust is broken, then that's an intense pain that is caused, especially the drashtata that Krishna sometimes shows. He does not even hide the telltale signs, the obvious signs that he had been away with a rival before, previous night. And he shows up with those signs. So that really hurts Radharani. Anybody, it will be hurt, right? So that only with a deep love and incredible trust is there, then the mana comes into full swing with full potential. She really feels broken heart, So by and large, the mana comes after pranaya. Sometimes it comes before, in a very rare cases that's given by our acharyas. Only, but when it comes in that way, it is not fully blossomed, fully ripened state. So that mana can be easily specified. But then there's a reason that trust is broken, trust is violated, then it's become a little difficult, And that's why we went through all these reasons how Krishna utilizes so many different ways to pacify Radharani. The best is to, of course, show heartfelt remorse. I'm really truly sorry for that. Actually, we saw in Radha Tattva course, even when Krishna is with rival Gopi, he is constantly thinking about Radha. Amazing thing is that even with with someone else, he is constantly thinking about Radha. And Radha knows about it. And she tells when Krishna is impersonating a gopi, he came in the form of a gopi to Radharani. We saw in the Sampada, Prema Samputa, the treasure chest of Prema, and that she explains there that I know my Krishna, even if he's with someone else, he's constantly thinking about me. And he's doing that is to increase the intensity of love, longing for him. She knows. But you can't help that feeling of that when the trust is violated. That's when the mana comes.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's so amazing that I've never realized before I started with your courses that there are so many stages in bhava, so many stages in rati, so many stages in emotions. There's so many technicalities, which like stages, like one after another, very logically presented by our acharyas. It is amazing that how you did all the slides and explained to us. Thank you so much for this. Really, really, Prabhuji.
Were you there with us when we did Ujjwal Nilamani?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah, because all these things
Yes,
we
Prabhuji.
covered.
You covered that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, Prabhuji, my retention capacity is.
It's a repetition, so the concepts become much more clearer.
Yes, Prabhuji. I tried to remember, but my retention capacity is very less. So this is a bonus for me. Like these lessons are again, going through that and reviving and renewing my memory.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. And thank you for your help arranging my presentation in Toronto. Kamala Gopi just replied to me. She could not do it at the Brampton Temple, but there's a temple in Milton, I think.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, she called me yesterday, and I'm sorry for not being able to do that because they, I think, scheduled already, and the temple
Yeah.
president could not reply back to you. I'm sorry about that,
Yeah.
but temple.
I
Thank you so
understand.
much.
Thank you. Yeah, Haribol. Any other points, questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Unfortunately, Prabhuji, I'm not in Toronto to meet you there. I'm still in India, returning only on 22nd November. You are going before that. So maybe next time,
It is going to be recorded. It
Lalita
is
Priya
likely
is
to be
there.
going to be recorded. I'll share with you, all of you.
Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I just one quick, because others will have a lot of questions, and as Lalita Priya mentioned, difficult to understand some of things, everything so details. I'm still thinking how Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he thinks of so many things, and still he writes so many books and all that. I can't understand. So, Prabhuji, just to make it Sringara Rasa, what is the meaning? It's a simple way, because we see all technicalities here. So what is the Sringar Rasa? Sringar, what is Sringar Rasa?
Shringar, Sanskrit meaning of Shringar is the decoration, right? That
Yes.
here you can think of is a decoration of that Madhura Rati in its
Okay.
full Shringara, fully decorated, And here, the point is here, Shringar Rasa, the important component is this Vipralamba, so that Vipralamba is the one which actually nourishes the eventual union, Sambhoga. So that is why the real Alankara, the real decoration is this Vipralamba of this Madhura Rati, Madhura Rasa.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. That brings a context to that. I was trying to get into that. So it is a Sringar, it's a decoration, which is the icing on the cake, and
It's the
those are
decoration of Madhura Rasa,
Madhurati. Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Much more illuminated
Mm.
like that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So wonderful
Lakshya
class,
Mata.
Prabhuji. We are so fortunate that we did Ujjwal Neelamani, and now we are repeating some slides so nicely. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
प्रभुजी मतलब मधुर रति और श्रृंगार रस, मतलब मधुर रति को जानने के लिए हमें श्रृंगार रस को जानना है पहले, कि वो स्टेप बाय स्टेप अगर वो जानते तो हमें मालूम पड़ता है कि दिस इज मधुर रति.
तो रियल मधुर रति का उसका जो एहसास होना चाहिए, अनुभूति होना चाहिए, वो तभी होगी जब इसलिए तो विजय कुमार पूछ रहे हैं कि मुझे अभी तक क्यों अनुभूति नहीं हो रही है. आपने इतना सारा समझाया मुझे, और अभी तक मुझे उसकी अनुभूति नहीं. तो बोलकर अभी तूने ये सुना नहीं है श्रृंगार रस के बारे में, इसलिए मैं तुम्हें ये सुनाऊंगा अभी. So now you will understand that, realize that the value of this separation.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
चंद्रमा आधा है, तेरी मेरी बात बुलाकर आधी ना रह जाए. सुर आधा ही साधा, रहा राधा का प्यार भी आधा. That incompleteness of love, that is the logical end of any love. Only when its separation happens, then only realize.
So, Prabhuji, it is very true that spiritual relation never dies, eternal.
Yes.
Right, Prabhuji?
That's a good example is Radharani. How many reasons happened Krishna gave to break up, right? But she never gave up on Krishna. So that transcendental relationship is there. They never break. Even those reasons are there. They justify
so,
break.
Prabhuji, in material world, it is 100% opposite. Small things happens, breakdown.
That's the distortion of the the reality of the spiritual world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Any other point before I turn it over to Sharad Prabhuji?
That means we will be tested royally for our patience. So if we get upset, Krishna and the keeper of this material world, Durga Devi, knows that if we go there and if we are not united to do service for Krishna, we will create a ruckus in the spiritual world. So they are not going to release us so easily from here.
You understood it, right? Thank you.
Right, Mataji.
Thank you. Sharad Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. What Lalit Mataji said is very, very right. The Lord is testing us, He is taking our test again and again. And once we finally pass the test, then we will be fit to go to His kingdom. Otherwise, we will be here in the material world. And this material world actually is not for punishment. It is for our rectification. We have to be rectified. We have to transcend to that level. Then we'll be able to reach there. Now I want to say a few words about the Purva Raga, and we saw how it arises in the gopis, and let us see if it arises first in the gopis or first in Krishna. What is being talked about by our acharyas? As you know, our acharyas, they divide Krishna's transcendental pastimes into 4 phases. That is the Kaumara, Pauganda, Kaisara, and Yovana. The Kaisara goes from the very birth to the end of his 5th year. And during this period, Krishna enjoys affectionate pastimes with his parents. And in this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami explains that this period can be divided into 3 subparts, Adya, Madhya, and Sesa. Then the second is Pauganda. It begins from the beginning of the 6th year, or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said 6th year, 4 months. But remember, it is 6 months up to the end of the 10th year. And during these years, Krishna exhibits Leelas with the coward boys. Then Sri Krishna's Poganda age can also be subdivided into those 3 periods. Now the third is Kaisara age from the 11th year to the end of 15th year. And his friendship with the gopis is exhibited during the age of Kaisara. And this is Krishna's eternal age. He does not go beyond this age. And his pastimes at Vrindavana are wrapped up at the end of his 15th year. Then he is transferred to Mathura and Dwaraka, where all other pastimes are performed. And now this is what the Acharyas say, but you may say, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and the other Acharyas, they also say that when Krishna from Vrindavana went to Mathura, he was 11 years, he was in his 12th year, he was having 11 years, 4 months age. Then how we are talking of 15th year and all that. Actually, all these boys, including Krishna, they were at a much higher level than the worldly people here in the material world. That's what it looks like. That now we are talking about Purva Raga, Prema Vaichitya, and all that. And now many of the acharyas, they say that the Purva Raga appeared in the gopis first, and thereafter it appeared in Krishna. But there are also some acharyas who say that Purvaraga, it appeared in Krishna first, and thereafter in the gopis. Now, we should remember that like Purvaraga appeared in the gopis, it also appeared in Krishna, and he was always longing to meet Radha and the other gopis, and he used to feel disappointed when he was not able to meet. And even at that time, we are talking of the Purvaraga only. And finally, when they met, the Maya potency of the Lord, that is the Yoga Maya, it acted in such a way that they felt, that is the gopis, Radharani, and gopis, even Krishna, they felt they were meeting for the first time. As we know, it was not for the first time they met, but that is what is the speciality of this Purvaraga of the gopis. They thought they were meeting for the first time only. And I also believe, after reading all these things, Purvaraga appeared in Krishna first, and then it appeared in the gopis. Though the other explanation also we have heard in the today's class also. I think we are coming to an end of our time. We can talk about it sometime later. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions, comments?
हरे कृष्णा भाई जी
हाँ जी बहन जी
मैं दिस वेरी नाइस क्लास मेरा क्वेश्चन थोड़ा बहुत सिली क्वेश्चन है मैं सोची पूछना
कभी सिले नहीं हो सकता है हाँ कहिए बोलिए पूछिए
how is the Satyabhama extension of Radha?
In many ways, Satyabhama is like Radharani, and she was very proud of her beauty and youthfulness, and Krishna showed some kind of greater inclination for her, and she had many talents. She used to accompany Krishna whenever used to go in battle or so on like that. She used to go with him, so many times. So that is where it is mentioned when Krishna brought the Parijata flower, which does not grow, does not happen on earthly planet. It grows only in heavenly planet. And when Krishna went there, Indra would not let it go, So Krishna had to defeat Indra and brought. So with great difficulty brought Parijata plant here, and Parijata flower plant, and he gave it to Rukmini, Queen Rukmini. So Rukmama obviously became turned off. That I thought Krishna is closer to me. Why did he give it to Rukmini like that? So many different incidents. She used to always feel very jealous of Rukmini, and Rukmini, Krishna also, of course, liked. Rukmini was the chief queen. Remember, and don't forget that Rukmini is the chief queen. But Satyabhama, because of that, used to be very jealous, about that actually. So, so Benji, ये जो प्रेम है, इंटेंस प्रेम जो होता है ना प्रणय स्टेज पे, तो वो जरा भी they cannot tolerate that her hero, her lover, showing even a slightest kind of preference, especially the rival, then they cannot tolerate that,
Yes. But in Radha, but in Radha character, it is not so like this, like Satyabhama.
No, Radha is Satyabhama is very outright like that. Radha is also very much like, but Radha is a kind of remember, she's a Madhya. So she's not prakhara, neither
Yes,
nor
yes.
she's in between. So she shows a mana, of course, and Krishna has to work at it, to win her love. So in many ways, the similarity is much more than the differences, actually.
Yeah.
In Radha, of course, we talk more about it, Radharani, and how it's much greater things which we discuss about in Radha, of course. The similarities between Radha and Satyabhama.
Yes, yes. Clear, Bhaiji. Very well. Thank you, Bhaiji. Very
Other
much
He is
clear.
Radharani,
And the other region is that is given in Lalita Madhava by Rupa Goswami, that she is an expansion of Radharani. It is very clearly given in that.
Yeah. Yes,
The
Prabhuji.
same way, Rukmini is this Chandravali's expansion.
Yes,
So
yes.
all the queens, all the major queens, they are all expansion of the major gopis in Vrindavan.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Bhaiji. Very much clear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaiji. Thank you, Sharad Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay, so if there are no questions, I'm going to request Saga Prabhu to conclude the class.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obsession. All good Isla Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhai. Namaste Narasimhai. Parladala daini. Parladala daini. Hiranyakasipur Bhakchar. Hiranyakasipur Bhakchar. Shilatankar Nathale, Shilatankar Nathale. Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha. Ito Yami, Ito Narsingha, Ito Yami, Ito Narsingha. By Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha, by Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha. Narasimhamadin Saranam Prapade. Narasimhamadin Saranam Prapade. Tavakala Kamala Bhare. Nakadbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanu Bringam Kesavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Tavakala Kamala Bhare Nakadbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanu Bringam Kesavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, शिला प्रपात की जय, चारु प्रभु की जय, शरद प्रभु की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, ऑल assembled devotee की जय। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण चारु प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Dhanvat Pradam, Saga Prabhuji, thank you very much. And thank you all of you also. All go to Srila Prabhupada, all go to Srimad Bhagavatam, all goes to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, and all goes to all the 6 Sandarbhas, all goes to all the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. So I look forward to the final 3 lessons next weekend. Next weekend, Krishna permitting, we should be concluding the entire Srii Jaiva Dharma course. And then subsequent weekend, we will try to review it, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Sarad Prabhuji.
Thank you so
Namaskar
much.
Pranam.
Welcome,